Da, 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 da. Hey. Da, 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 da. Well, ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half one show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Koco crew here holding it down live. Yours truly, sexiest man on all Urban Wrestling Radio. That's right. Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join me there, way across the pond, in the outskirts of Yokohama, Japan. Dave Coco, what's up, brother?
Nothing much. So poor Boom Boom has to do this in the middle of the night because my neighbors are racist. So
Yeah, I
just want to
heard
give
you.
that a
Yeah, I
shout
heard you're
out.
having a. Yeah, I heard you're having a problem with white people in your building.
Yeah.
Fucking chalkies.
Yeah, unbelievable. So the latest plan to deal with my racist neighbors is to join their community
Hmm.
and tell them, demand them that they shouldn't let white people live here. That's my latest plan. I'm like, dude, you got so. Oh man, it's just insane. I've been to over 30 countries and never had to deal with this shit as much as I had to deal today. So Boom Boom, thank you for making it. Sorry we're late. We're gonna try to make the best of it. You know,
Yeah.
guys, I'm gonna make a public service announcement. Boom Boom, sit down.
Okay.
I don't mean to get political. I don't mean to
Hmm.
attack anyone, but I'm gonna take a stance. Ready? Racism
Right.
isn't cool. There you go. I fucking did
Yeah.
it. I said it.
Whew.
I,
Somebody
I,
had to.
I feel like, it's 20. All right, booms. But yeah, overall, got a new computer. We'll be setting that bad boy up, and I'm going to break some fucking news here. It's super nerdy news, but you know how I have to plug 800 things after every show, Boom Boom? You know how that's a
Yeah.
pain in the
Yeah.
ass because 98%
Yeah.
of the time I bully you into promoting it? Now,
Hmm.
you can get my books. You can get my cartoons. You can get my video game playing, my pro wrestling, my talking, my eating, all of it at davecoco.com. I made davecoco.com. I just was tired of plugging stuff at the end of the show.
Really, I thought you were going to make boomboomandstockings.net before you did that.
Well, sir, you still have not forwarded me the domain. But yeah, so davecoco.com. These shows will be on it. Because, yeah. Yep, that's it. That's it. So, and of course, always streaming on twitch.tv/KocoSports. But today, I just wanted to focus on doing this show. All right, booms. AEW. It's the first time they're back live.
Hmm.
Down in the comments, please put win, loss, or tie what you thought of it. Booms. Now that the internet infantry's typing away, what is your answer? Win, loss, or tie?
I'm gonna give it a win, and apparently the audience gave it a win too because AEW went above 700,000 viewers again for the first time in a couple of weeks. The May 6th edition of Dynamite drew 732,000 viewers compared to NXT's 663,000 viewers, and they were also up in key demographics, mainly 18 to 49-year-old viewers. So that's a good positive. So I think I think they had a good show, and I think the audience responded as well.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Um, I'm giving it a win, and I really enjoyed it.
Hmm.
But I don't want to chant TNA. I'm just gonna chant TN. They haven't got the A yet, but every step of the way, I'm like, wait a second, a company we could get behind. Mm-hmm. We fall for this trap before, Boom Boom. We have fallen
Yeah.
for this trap before, and right now they're doing it well. But doing it well is blocking off that A. But I feel like there's some TN chance going. I'm giving it a win, but Papa Coco is very worried. It's like, oh God, more mistakes. But they haven't. Mm, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there were any major mistakes. I mean, there were some nitpicky stuff, which I guess we can get into in just a moment. But no, I didn't see anything majorly wrong with the show.
No. Just. Well. Let's break it down. And like, I don't want to complain. It's just when you grew up and you always had that one person that smacked you in the face, and every time you
Hmm.
got excited, and like, man, it's gonna be different this time, and they slap you in the face. I'm
Uh-huh.
having flashbacks of that slap in the face wrestling style. Like,
Okay.
oh, I hope I don't get slapped in the face. Like, everything's going great, but I've been slapped in the face so much. You know what I mean? I'm not willing to rush in and hug you just yet, AEW. Not yet. I've been hurt in the past. All right, Booms, let's break this down.
Damn, Koco's all sensitive. He's been hurt before. He's got a weak heart.
It is. It is. It's just I'm getting older. I see the same mistakes over and over, and I'm like, I don't know if
Okay.
I want to put my heart into anything anymore. I've given up on life and pro wrestling.
Well, we start
This got
with
dark very fast, Boom Boom. And the
telling
best
you,
part is
Koco.
it got dark very fast on a show we both rated a win.
Yeah.
All right, Booms, let's break it down before this becomes the saddest podcast ever.
Again, this is for the May 6th edition of Dynamite. They started out with the highlights from last week. They did the big open. We saw Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur at commentary. They were live from Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida, Dave Koco's favorite place in the whole wide world. It was good to see. It was good to see the three-man booth back. It was good to see a change of pace. Got to see Daly's Place. By the way, I think that had a great. I don't want to get too sidetracked on this one, but I think it had a great ambience to it because I mean the sun was starting to set there in Florida. There was a breeze going through the whole amphitheater. I think it was really nice aesthetic. And of course you had I think it was roughly like 10 people, 5 faces on one side, 10 heels on the other. And I think they even had some non-wrestlers. Now, I don't know if these were relatives of the crew or wrestlers, but there were some, or the Khan family, but there were some people there who were just there as fans, and they were wearing a mask. They were spaced far enough apart, and I think that really helped the atmosphere, in my opinion. Coco, just tag to you. Just what did you think about boom? They start the show. Okay, it's starting to feel a little refreshing here because it's starting to feel a little bit pre-pandemic.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, having anybody there is better than having nobody there. I love the sunset. I love the feel, the view. It's an amazing place, and that could be their, remember Raw was always from the ballroom? That could be like their ballroom. Overall, I really enjoyed it. It's just Chris Jericho's really good at what he does. I don't know. I like Excalibur, and I'm the only human being on planet Earth who doesn't like Jim Ross. But it just seems like poor Tony Schiavone. It's like, you did a great job, and now your reward is sit next to these two fucking schmucks. I don't know. I liked Schiavone and Jericho way better than I liked the three-man desk. The three-man desk is like Tony's just there for the sake of being there. But Excalibur's there to, I don't know. I just feel the announcing crew did better when they were shorthanded. That's just me. But overall, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the atmosphere and I enjoyed the card. So yeah. All right, go ahead, Booms.
First match of the night: Cody Rhodes versus Joey Janela. Which I thought it was a pretty good opening. This thing went a little over 13 minutes. I'll say this. I said this the other week about God, what's his name? It's gonna come to me in a second. Goth guy wears the mask.
Half dead
Normal
dude.
for no, not Darby Allin.
Okay.
Shit, what just blanked? Why the fuck did I just
I thought you
blank
were talking about
anyway?
Darby Allin.
No, I want to talk about Darby Allin. Teams up with Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian. Shit.
I'm having a blank
God,
too. You're asking me.
God
All right.
damn it, Coco. What the fucking use are you to me?
Nothing
I'm
at
gonna
all.
get to it. Anyway,
Boo was gonna say.
I knew what the fuck it was. AEW roster.
AEW roster. We're gonna look it up.
God,
Dude, watch it be
just-
someone huge like Jake the Snake Roberts. Like, that guy. That legend. I don't know. Player Uno?
hang on, waiting for the website to load here because I'm at work and things.
Dun, 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 dun.
Why the fuck am I not? I'm scrolling here. I don't need to see the women's.
Dun, 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 dun. Do. When was
Yeah,
Brandy's promo the opening promo?
Jimmy Havoc, Jesus H fucking Christ,
Oh,
Tap
he's not
Dancing.
fucking Jimmy Havoc's the most forgettable person ever, and I think I've booked him before. Dude, that's not on me, dude. It's fucking Jimmy Havoc. If Jimmy Havoc fucking had a gun to my head and said, "What's my fucking name?" I'm like, I don't know. He's like, you fucking booked me before. Still don't know, man. Yeah, that's not on me. That's on you. Fucking referencing Jimmy Havoc. That's on you. That's embarrassing.
Anyway, anyway, I
I've
don't know
actually,
why.
I've actually booked Jimmy Havoc before.
I just blanked right there. I mean, I knew what it was, and then I got on there, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I just blanked right there.
All right. Well, now that we've
But anyway, oh yeah, now that you wasted my time because this is where the professional Dave Koco would have stepped in and kind of covered for me, so I could have looked it up instead of okay, I'll just wait here with you there, Beans.
That's true. I did just wait.
Yeah,
I was gonna
yeah,
ask if I could. You sounded like you're a little cranky, but I also wanted to ask was Brandy's promo the opening promo?
no,
Okay, then never mind. See, I was about to cover for you, and it would even make sense.
no,
Yeah,
it wouldn't
exactly.
have because
All right,
I
so
actually watched the show.
okay, Jimmy Havoc, go on.
Anyway, I was saying that Joey Janela is like someone like Jimmy Havoc in the sense they've got the reputation of being like the hardcore guy. They just do all these spots and brutal stuff. And that's how they handle it. But no, I think Janela is actually a pretty good wrestler.
Yeah,
When he wants to get out there. So I was like, I kind of want to see more of this from Janela. That's what I want to see more out of that because I just think it's a better presentation for him, and plus it probably preserves his career.
yeah,
So
definitely.
no, I thought it was a good opener. I think like Cody, I thought this was going to be a quick match, but no, Cody gave him a lot. Cody gave him a lot of leeway, and I think he used the spot there to shine. I don't think there was any major botches. I think maybe there was one where he was trying to do like a moonsault or something through the ramp, but he just couldn't get up, and they just said, okay, let's just not do this.
Yeah,
But no, let's see, Janela, he countered the Cody cutter into that German suplex, which looked amazing, followed up with a lariat. Um, Cody, he hit some strike. He managed to hit him with the Crossroads and gets the win. So I think it was a pretty good competitive opening.
yeah, and I love the fact that the announcers mentioned the record. It made Joey Janela look cool, and he covered it up.
Hmm.
Um, I do like Joey Janela. I just think they have to show his character more. It reminds me of a young Dean Ambrose in WWE,
Hmm.
or that random crazy chick on TNA's roster, WWE roster. What's her name? It doesn't fucking matter. There's always that one character they're like, he's crazy, but they never show why he's crazy. I think like they have to show more character development for Joey Janela.
Hmm.
I don't want to hear that he's crazy. I want to know why. Um, Cody is once again having a great matches. I see a lot of people on Twitter pissed because people like Cody and Kenny are giving some people longer matches than they should, but who cares? Fucking Ric Flair did that. Booms. We're gonna go back in time. Ric Flair used to have 60-minute fucking matches against fucking people you barely knew. There's nothing fucking wrong with putting on a good fucking wrestling match. Times have changed. Could you imagine today, like, because like I remember back in the day, Booms. You could tell me if you remember this. Ric Flair would pick a random fucking enhancement talent, jobber, local guy, whatever you want to call it, a guy lower down the list, and just put on a fucking 20 to 60 minute fucking classic. I don't know. I'm okay with that. I really am.
Well,
Um,
I just think it depends on, like, here's the reason why I think that somebody brought this up, and I'm kind of glad that you actually did mention this, is when bad guys, like Lance Archer or Wardlow squash somebody, these are the bad guys. They're supposed to do this. They're supposed to take the enhancement talent and use it to make themselves just absolute beast monsters that you're getting over. That's the whole point. Even to some extent, like maybe some of like the good guys who do that. Again, somebody like God, who was who's been patent like Jimmy Havoc padded his record with this pandemic. I think Kip Sabian padded his record a little bit with this through the pandemic. But here's the deal: they're not all in charge. You know, you got the EVPs. I mean, these guys are playing long term. I mean, they need to, use it to scout more talent, to get, maybe get more people over. Because I mean, Sarah J was somebody who went in there, was only wrestling in what, her seventh match, and all of a sudden, boom, she gets signed.
Yeah.
Because she, maybe that's what they're doing. They're scouting here, and plus, these guys are pretty humble because you would think, the smart thing to do would either make Cody or Kenny champion, make the Young Bucks the tag team champion, but then I argue, well, where do you go after that?
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the reason why, the EVPs are, because they're trying to make not about them, they're trying to make it about the promotion.
Yeah. And it has
And
to.
what better way to quell? I'm gonna
And
say, what better way to quell that criticism is if you give, you take some people and now maybe you're giving them a little too much, but you're giving something to people.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. But also at the same time, it's a hard balance because people want to
Hmm.
see Kenny do well. People want to see Cody do well. So you have to balance it out. They probably have a lot harder job than
Hmm.
most people think. You know what I mean? Because in the past, a Jeff Jarrett, a Triple H, guys that have power would just be on top because they can't trust anyone. And
Right.
here, they're going to go in a different way because they don't want to follow in those footsteps. But at the same time, super fans such as myself don't want to fucking see Kenny go on a losing streak. So
Hmm.
they're in a bit of a tight spot. I think they've been balancing it pretty well, but at the same time, it's a hard balancing act to do. All right, Booms. You got anything else to say?
No, I think it was just a great opener.
Yeah, I really
Uh,
enjoyed the
then,
opener.
then next we got a video package from Nyla Rose about the landscape of the women's division. Um, Tony Schiavone did a quick, interview with her before her match, saying that, she's the real, dominant force. Now go do your job. I'm gonna go do mine. So she gets in the ring with Kenzie Paige, and this was a squash match. It was an 18-year-old girl, Kenzie Paige, absolutely squashed her in about 2.5 minutes. Just pure domination.
No, Booms. I know it's gonna be a bit fucking weird. I think
Hmm.
this is the best part of the fucking show.
Really,
I fucking do.
really.
I fucking like. There's times where I fucking just mark out for writing and do it. Two things, three things they did absolutely well. One thing that people like us have been saying, I've been saying the women's division is booked horribly. They literally fixed the women's division in two fucking segments. The video put everyone over, which was great. The
Hmm.
champ comes out and says, fuck your video, I'm the greatest. So it puts the champ over. You just put the division over, you just put the champ over, and then the champ goes in the fucking ring and destroys her. And, I never thought after a fucking Britt Baker squash match, I'd become a fucking squash match expertor, but this
Hmm.
was done well. And I kind of want to see what Kenzie Paige does. I find her to be interesting. You know what I mean? She grabbed my attention. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, overall, I'm talking about from a booking standpoint. This was a home run because
Oh, I mean, that's great. I mean, that's actually pretty good analysis right there. I was like, well, was this the best? And then you explained why, and I liked how you're saying it looks like maybe they're trying to take a little bit more attention because that was the biggest criticism for AEW is the women's division.
yeah, definitely. And I think if they keep doing stuff like this, it'll be done really well.
Hmm.
All right.
All right, after that, we had okay, this is one of my nitpicks here. Is they did the MGF video.
Yes.
Now the problem I had with this is maybe just because I've been in broadcasting for too long, they broke, kind of like the continuity. Because they did show before this video MJF, outside. He was one of the heels on the outside, in the audience. And he also had a face mask that looked like his scarf, which I thought was a cool touch, by the way. And then they have him. he delivered one hell of a promo, saying everybody thinks, he's the guy. They call him the kid, and it doesn't matter what I do. They automatically start comparing me to the great. They go, oh well, he's no Flair, he's no Rock, he's no Piper. It's like look who they're already comparing me to, and I'm only 24. And you know what? When I come back, I'll be back. I'll be injury free. I'm better than you, and you know it. And Bane basically saying he's going to be back next week. Now, the problem I had with this is, okay, if he's there in the audience and you just show him before this, what's the point of rolling this package? And here's another thing: why roll this package when you've got Tony Schiavone there, you've got Excalibur there, you've got JR there, you've got whoever the backstage interviewer is. I can't remember her name right now. If you got her there, why not have him do that promo live?
Yeah.
Give him a reason for being there. There was no reason for him to be there at this point. I mean, this was kind of like, I mean, it was good promo. Don't get me wrong, it was great, but I think it defeated the whole purpose of him actually physically, like you physically showing him, then you rolling the package, and then you see him a little bit later again. I think that defeated the whole purpose. I think it was great. I think it could have waited. If you're going to do this, either you needed to do it live or have this be the only appearance of MJF and then bring him in live next week.
Um, I agree with you. No, I just have something that could fix it. What if what if just one announcer said, "Oh, this was recorded earlier," or "Oh, this was sent to us early." You know what I mean? Would that fix it, or do you think it's still a no-go?
I don't. I'd still say it was a no-go. Either because they already put themselves in a corner last week when they said, okay, well, when MJF said he was going to return. Now you
Yeah.
could have him be a heel. So I thought, oh yeah, I said it return. I didn't say it'd be live. You could do that, or if you really want to stick with that and have him there, that promo he did on that video, he needed to do that live, and I think that would have fixed everything. And I wouldn't have shown him before that. That's just me though.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it was great, but it's just I don't like how they did it.
Yeah, I understand. All right. And after that, you have the Shawn Spears promo.
Again, and this is another one. This is another thing that irks me is, you had a pretty good promo from Shawn Spears. They talked about, the beating that Dustin Rhodes took last week at the hands of Lance Archer. That he's like, oh, I wouldn't have done, I've got a brother, and I wouldn't have done that. I would have thrown in the towel. I would have saved my brother. Now, is he just doing it because he cares, or because he wants to have his brother get his career ended, and that way he has the Rhodes legacy all to himself? There was nothing wrong with what he actually said or what he actually did, but my problem is in the promo, in the video, he's got the beard, but when they cut to him live, he's clean shaven. Again, continuity error.
Yeah. And also too, like, just to go with it, I don't think you should book the same things back to back. But I don't have the best memory in the world, but I'm just reading this up on Uprocks. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce this website. But according to them, they show the MJF promo, they show the Shawn Spears promo, and then they go ringside to Tony Schiavone with them. So to me, it's kind of like, not only is it continue, what you said, error. I fucking stuttered and couldn't say that. But it's also like you're booked back to back to back the same thing. And I think
Hmm.
the promos in the back were better. I really like Shawn Spears promo a lot. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was great.
yeah,
It was
so
just, again, why record this when you're going to show them immediately anyway? 'Cause I'm just saying, be live when you can.
yeah, and this is my devil's advocate to this, and I could be
Hmm.
completely wrong on this. Remember they said they were supposed to wait one more week before going live? Do you think they
Hmm.
pre-recorded this stuff and like, oh, we should air it? And if that's the case,
Yeah,
maybe they should
I,
have
I,
sent it right to YouTube.
yeah, I think that's what they did. I think they had all this stuff in the can. They're like, well, hell, we shot it, so might as
Yeah,
well just go ahead and use it.
got it.
And they worked it in. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, he's got a beard in the video, but then when you go back to him live, he's clean shaven, and I'm like, well, why not have him do it live if he's going to be there?
All right, I'm just.
But I think you answered the question. I think they already had it in the can. They're like, well, we just don't want to not use it, so let's use it.
Okay, hold on, hold on. What if this? I'm just trying to
Mhm.
fix the problem here, Booms. You tell me if this fixes the problem. Most likely they had it recorded and they wanted to show it. Why not show it on Dark and then have it the two packages and say as seen on Dark, so you're advertising Dark, then go to ringside to them. Is that better?
I mean, maybe it would have been a little bit better, but I'm just saying. Like I said, it's a nitpick.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just trying to find answers for AEW to questions AEW is not asking. All right, let's go to the next main match there.
Okay, next match coming out after this is really they were had Spears and MJF. They were betting, and then finally MJF was mocking the talent, and then uh, it was announced right there that MJF is going to face Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing, and MJF does a spit take, which I thought was funny. So I just think it was kind of out of nowhere, but I did like the reaction. So good recovery on that. Anything you want to say about that, or do you want to go to the next match?
No, let's just go to the next match because my bird is being really loud. That's my bird, Larry.
Yes,
Hello, Larry.
Larry Bird.
He wants to give his opinion of AEW. What do you think, Larry? Oh, now you're not talking. Let's go to the next match.
All right, next we have the champion John Moxley versus Frankie Kazarian, which I thought was a pretty good match. This thing went just shy of 17 minutes. I think it was a great competitive match. They gave Kazarian a lot on this one, just like they did with Scorpio Sky in his singles match against Jericho for the championship. They Moxley gave a lot for Kazarian, and there was a couple of times I thought, oh crap, Kaz might actually catch him here, but eventually Moxley wins with a Dirty Deeds almost out. He just countered off of Kaz and then just hit that Dirty Deeds out of nowhere and boom, got the pin. So it was one of those, yeah, Kaz lost clean, but he didn't look like a schmuck because I mean he was holding his own. He was giving it to the champion, and it just looks like he just got caught. Just that one little second, he just got caught and got pinned. So I think it was a great match.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I like the fact that Frankie got some stuff in, and I like the fact that they are, putting on great matches. So overall,
hmm
not much, but pretty much the aftermath is what I want to focus on and speak about. So after the match, Booms.
hmm After the match, Mox got ambushed by the Dark Order, who, by the way, wearing dress shirts now. Should point that out, and including the newly initiated number 10, who had like I don't. Hopefully, it wasn't supposed to be a tattoo because it was washing off. But there was a big beatdown. Brody Lee comes out. Excuse me, Mr. Brody Lee comes out. Uh, Basically issues the challenge and said, "I'm here to collect on the bounty you put on your own head." And Moxley says, "Well, all you had to do was ask," and then he got beat down again. So I think it was a good segment.
Yeah, I really love this segment, and I love Moxley's answer, and I love the fact that he still beat him down. I enjoyed it, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Just I'm enjoying it, but I'm also weary. Is that
hmm
if he becomes the champ, if he, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
hmm
Paul Heyman and good promoters will tell you this. If you're taking everyone from another company and you put them on top, you're the minor league. Like if
hmm
so I love the storyline. I love where it's going. Love the characters. Love the promos. Love everything about it. But I'm really worried they're at the stage of, TN. They haven't made it to A because you can really ruin a company very fast here. Because when you have a local promotion, a second tier promotion, when you're not WWE, there'll always
hmm
be your guys and former WWE guys. And if the former WWE guys go too hard, it will make your guys look weak. And that is my biggest concern. With saying that, I've enjoyed everything about this. And I do believe WWE guys should get second shots. I do believe WWE, but I think you should be picky. Like
Yeah, so far they've been picky because AEW, as far as I know, with the exception of the Revival, have not picked up any of the recently released WWE, excuse me, WWE talents. Excuse me.
I hope they can stay that way, but the biggest prize is always your title. And if your title is always going to former guys from another company, it's not going to look good for your guys. That's why MJF has to step up. Kenny Omega has to step up. And I'm not saying that, Brody Lee and, Moxley can't be AEW guys. You just have to be very careful of putting it on one former, even if you repackage them, And those that were TNA fans that are not delusional, if you think that was a great idea, it wasn't. So just like them booking themselves, this is a fine line that is easy to slip off. It's a balancing act, but it's like a balancing act with a wire covered in butter. You know what I mean? It's just not going to be easy. And I feel bad because maybe it's just my experiences as a fan, but I'm like, I'm enjoying this, but you are going down the wrong path. And I think it's too soon for Brody Lee to lose, but if Brody Lee wins, what does that say about anyone that's not a former WWE guy? So I think, you have to be building up to MJFs. You have to be building up to Hangman Pages. You have to, I don't know. It just reminds me of Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle. Like, if you had a time machine, there's no way Samoa Joe doesn't go over. It's just, yeah. You have to protect your own. And maybe I'm the only promoter that did that. Let's look at Tampa All-Pro. How many WWE guys were on that card? How many TNA guys were on that card? How many New Japan, All Japan guys were on that card? How many of them won? It is your job to make sure your talent gets over. If not, you're a fucking mark, and you're not investing in your own goddamn business. So I do worry about this. Yeah, one guy won. Go back and look at the results. Tampa All Pro. We had a guy from every major company on that card, and the only one that won was Tyson Tomko because he lived locally, and we were the only company he was working for. Everyone else, WWF guys, they went under. TNA guys went under. Ring of Honor guys went under. New Japan guys went under. You have to make sure that your audience knows that your company is important.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, because you don't want to immediately send because it doesn't. It's kind of like Chavo Guerrero's run as ECW champion because this is the WWF version of ECW. Because you have a guy that was basically God bless him, was a jobber. And then all of a sudden they said, okay, we're going to give him a push. We're going to make him ECW champion. Well, what does that say about about the talent roster? Okay, here's a guy who's basically a jobber who's now running roughshod all over the entire roster.
You have to protect the title and you have to protect your company. With that said, I enjoyed the performance. I thought it was great. I am looking forward to the match. And fun fact, Booms, sit down for a Grandpa Indie story. These two men wrestled in a main event in Combat Zone. If you get a chance to look that up, it did not end well. And I don't mean it in, oh my God, that was extreme Joey Styles moment. I mean in a, wow, this is making fucking every goddamn wrestling blooper thing. What was it? What's the wrestling thing? Shit, where's the one?
Botchamania.
Yeah, it was a Botchamania Hall of Fame. It was bad. I think the announcers, I'm paraphrasing here, but please look it up. The announcer's like, that's it? It's over? Oh. It was bad. So these two guys have wrestled outside WWE before, and it was a disaster. So hopefully this time it'll be different. And I bet you those two, even though not many people know about Combat Zone and know about that huge blunder, I imagine it has to be in the back of their head. They want to prove the world wrong. You know what I mean? Like if me and you had a bad show, we'd want to bounce back and have a good show, at least in another good 10 years. Follow us. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, Booms. Hot tag to you, brother.
Next, we got a promo from Brandy Rhodes, talking about, Jake Roberts. It's like, we know what you're trying to do. You're trying to play, here's what you're trying to do. You're trying to play this out to where you're going to try to back me into a corner, you and Lance Archer. You're going to attack me. You're going to hope my husband comes out, and you're going to lure him into a trap. Well, you know what? This isn't 1991 anymore. I can fight, I can defend my own battles, and so, oh, and by the way, do me a favor, keep my name out of your old dirty mouth. And I love that promo. I really did.
I love the promo. I love where the promo led. I know I asked you this earlier. For some reason,
Hmm.
this felt like it should open the show. I just thought like this should have opened the show. I thought it would have been a
Hmm.
great way to open the show. Um, yeah. Overall, I really really like this promo, and I love the fact, and we'll talk about it later, what the outcome was, because I was really afraid she was going to pull a Stephanie McMahon, where there was no consequences, and that was not the case.
No, no.
Overall, I give it 3 A pluses out of 2. It was just an amazing promo, Brandy. I knew she was talented, but this is like, damn, you know what I mean? It's like she she fucking hit a home run. You know what I mean? It's yeah. I was
Yes.
expecting a triple. She fucking smashed it out of the park.
No, I don't know. She did a great job with this, and I kind of like how she pretty much just said what we're all thinking. It's like, okay, we all know what's going to happen here. They're going to try to isolate Brandy. They're going to have Cody's going to have to come in and make the save, and then that's when they're gonna it's gonna be a trap, and they're gonna ambush him. They're like, dude, we see this coming. We're not stupid, and this isn't 1991 again. And I'm not like this helpless little damsel in distress. So you're gonna have to do better than that. So I mean, I liked it. I mean, I liked it when they just kind of said, okay, well, here's what everybody's thinking. Here's the obvious, and now we're gonna take it in a different direction.
Yeah, and this let after the promo, it goes with the QT Marshall match, and I'll let Boom Boom break it down. I just like the fact that he defeated everyone to get to Cody. I thought they were gonna
Hmm.
forget about QT. All right, hot tag to you, sir.
Yeah, beats Brandy, accompanying QT Marshall, Lance Archer, with Jake Roberts making a return. Now, Jake Roberts wearing the mask and kind of staying back from everything, but I think that's more of a precaution. This makes sense because, QT Marshall would want to get revenge for his tag team partner. He wound up getting his ass kicked on this one, and then there was one point where Archer threw Marshall into the barricade, and Britt Baker smacked him with a shoe. Just I was like, I kept thinking about Austin Powers. Like, who throws you a shoe? Honestly,
I don't know.
but
I
no.
love and hate Britt Baker the same amount growing. Like Britt
Mhm.
Baker when she first started, I was like, who gives a shit? But now, like my love and hatred for her is growing at the same time.
So Brady grabs the shoe and throws it, just chunks it back into the arena, just chunks it. Then where they finish up the match. Archer hits the blackout, uh, and then at the count of two pulls him up, and then finishes him up with the EBD claw, gets the win. Afterwards, Britt Baker comes out, jumps the guardrail, lays out Bird with the DDT on the floor, rolls her back into the ring. Jake Roberts comes in, and this time he's got that python with him, and then he's laying that python all over her, and I'm just like, oh god. Me, that's just kind of creepy, just because when you're dealing, look, I know a python's a constrictor, but still at the same time, God, it's a wild animal. You never know. Anyway, and then JR actually saved Cody on this one because the obvious question is, well, his wife's getting beat up. Well, where's Cody Rhodes? And JR just said one little thing that saved the whole segment. He said, well, because of social distancing, the locker rooms are actually in the stadium. So to get here, you actually have to take a golf cart from the locker rooms to here where we are at Daly's place. So that would make sense why Cody didn't immediately come out there. Because if not, I mean, Cody's looking like a shitty brother, shitty husband, shitty friend, shitty everything.
Yeah, Jr. definitely saved his ass, and
Hmm.
and you know you know me, I'll throw JR under the bus every 10 fucking seconds. I'll be like, fucking JR, am I right? But,
Hmm.
at the same time, I tried to go down the middle. And he did a great job covering for him. It was a bit weird, though. Like, JR did a
Hmm.
great job, but everyone else was like, yeah, why is this happening? I loved everything about this. JR made the fucking save. It is a bit weird that Cody didn't come out, but, okay, JR made the save, so we'll look past that. And maybe I'm getting up there in my old age. Maybe I'm too much of an old man, or maybe I've seen the fucking light or something. But
Hmm.
Jake doing the push-up position over her, I was like, for real? This is what we're doing? Like, I don't know. I was more creeped out by that than the snake. I was like, Jake, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
well,
That's a man's
well,
wife.
here I got really concerned because there was one point, if you go back and look, where it looked like Jake Roberts accidentally stepped on that snake's tail,
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, yeah, I was worried
and
about
I
that
kept
too.
thinking, okay, that I was worried that that snake was gonna, bite, was gonna strike. Because I mean, obviously it was an accident. He wasn't doing it intentionally, but that's the problem I have is when you're dealing with a wild animal, you just don't know.
Yeah.
And because when you're sitting there taking that snake, picking it up, putting it down, throwing it around, it may just say, "Hey, I really don't like this," and take a snap at somebody.
Or it could be a bird who wants to give his opinion on AEW during a
Yes,
podcast.
exactly.
Overall, I liked it. It was a bit creepy. Some things were weird. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to give JR a compliment. Hard
Okay.
times. Hard times. But yeah. All right, back to you, sir.
All right. After everybody got themselves composed here, Taz tried to interview Darby Allin. Darby Allin, refused to talk, and then Ted's like, well, I noticed you made some mistakes, but I want to help you, professional. Darby just walked off. So I did like that. I like the fact that they got him on the show in some kind of capacity.
Yeah. I agree with you. Darby Allin needs to be on the show. B, I like the fact that he's only there for a short time. I like when you have a star and you have him on for a short time. So like the
Hmm.
audience remembers him, but it's not too much of him. And second,
Hmm.
I'm a big fan of Taz the wrestler. Taz the podcaster, I get it. Everything's our fault. Larry even gets it in the back. Boom boom, everything's our fault.
Yes.
Taz can't pay his electric bill. Goddamn wrestling fans' fault. But I love the way he breaks down moves, and I would love to see him as a coach. So if this is leading him to be a coach, because they got 476 announcers,
Hmm.
him being a manager wouldn't be bad at all. So yeah, I like this. It was short, simple, but it was effective.
All right. And then we've got some announcements. And then they made some next week. MJF is going to return. Brody Lee's going to take on Christopher Daniels. The Best Friends is going to versus the Jurassic Express. Kuroshita versus Penelope Ford versus Dr. Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander in a four-way. And this Archer and Roberts going to be an interview. And now I'm going to say this one here, this next match, because here's what led to it here. We're going to have Chris Jericho versus Pineapple Pete. Old Sugar Dunkerton himself. Because
I I'm
next we
sorry.
got the street fight. Come on, man. If you've been following AEW for these past few weeks, you know why this is happening.
Yeah, and I know this is weird, but I love the fact right now everything
Mhm.
connects. Like even though Chris Jericho is most likely gonna win,
Mhm.
there was a great storyline leading up to this. It just I don't know. I know it sounds weird, but AEW and it's gonna sound very weird. And AEW is putting effort into their product. I know that like sounds for anyone that's listening to this for first time is like, what the fuck? Of course they're putting product effort into their product. As someone as me and Boom Boom for generations have been watching pro wrestling, this is kind of a rare thing around these
Mhm.
parts. I'm really enjoying it. I think he did a great job. Larry's even enjoying it. All right, Boom's talk main event. I'm gonna mute because I gotta take care of my bird. Hold on. Coco
Okay.
beware.
All right. Next here we get the street fight. We have the Sex Gods. That is Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega, and then that making his AEW debut, Matt Hardy. Jake Hager is at ringside. Immediately during the entrance, Sugar Dunkerton, better known as, who Jericho has been calling Pineapple Pete, like in the past few weeks, took a swing at Jericho, and he got leveled for it. But this was an absolutely insane street fight. These two, if you kind of got the joke, I really felt like you would really enjoy this match. I mean, they went all over Daly's place. Originally, they had Matt Hardy go out there. He did a few spots, then he went to the back, and so it was 2-on-1 for a while. It was Kenny Omega trying to fend off Jericho and Guevara, and even to some extent Hager. And then Matt came back, but he came back as the old school, Matt Hardy, from the Hardy Boys. Matt Hardy hitting a twist of fate. The good guys started to, pick back up. They went to the outside. Um, they took it to they started brawling into the stands. They went to the back. Um, a bag of ice got used as a weapon, and Jericho I think Matt hit Jericho with a bag of ice, but then Jericho hit him with it, and then him and Hager threw Hardy back into the ice machine. Again, Kenny had to do 2-on-1. He got thrown. Sammy threw him into the ATM. Kenny Omega started battling back and powerbombed Guevara onto the garage door, and Hager with a V trigger. Jericho comes back in. This thing's got a little crazy now. Hardy comes back out as Damascus uh, from the ice machine. He gets on the golf cart. He hits Jericho. Kenny Omega joins him, and they chase down Sammy Guevara, and Sammy sold that fucking hit like $1,000,000. I mean, he took like this header and did like a helicopter spin midair and hit the floor. Hit pure concrete.
Yeah.
There was one where they did, where they laid out Jericho on the table. Kenny gets onto the top of a scissors lift, and he does like this moonsault onto Jericho, Hager, and Guevara. But then Santana and Ortiz came in, so the entire inner circle being reunited for the first time since all this shit has gone down. They power bombed Matt Hardy through the table. Uh, they went into the golf. They took Kenny Omega, powerbombed him onto the top of the golf cart, hit him with the Judas effect. Boom, the Sex Gods beat Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega just shy of 20 minutes. Great brawl. If you're in on the joke, if you kind of knew what everybody was talking about, it was great. But if not, you probably had no idea what was going on and wondering what the big deal was. But I think it was a great main event. Great way to go off.
Yeah.
Coco?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm wrestling my bird. My bird wants to make all
Who's
loud
winning?
noises. You heard the main event. I had to mute it, man. It was going crazy. Oh, there he is. All right, I think we're good. Thank you for being professional, Boom Boom. Sorry that, Larry's not being as cool as that snake was. I thought the highlights for me was, Kenny running down Sammy with the golf cart. Like Boom Boom said, he sold it like $1,000,000. And on top of that, it's just pure meme mania with that. And then Kenny doing a moonsault off the scissor lift. I thought it was weird that there was just random people there. I know maybe it's because I've seen so many places empty, but they were like, there was like a family with masks just walking around. I'm like, what? That's kind of weird. And not only that, but they weren't like into it. They were like confused. Like they were like, oh, we're just here to pick up our bills. What's going on over here? But yeah, overall, and I loved the ending. The ending had with the arena and the lights and all that. I thought that was amazing. Overall, I love this match a lot, but there was so much so fast that I had to like watch it more than once or twice. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. There was just a lot of stuff going on. And overall, I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I don't know. It's crazy and a lot of stuff is going on in a good way. You know what I mean? A lot of people, Kenny Omega himself is like, oh, DDT, everyone thought AEW was going to be New Japan. And it's starting to become more like DDT. And I'm misquoting Kenny Omega, He's like, DDT will never work in America. Hold my beer. You know what I mean? So it had a DDT feel to it in a good way. And overall, I enjoyed it a lot. But there was a lot. Do you agree with that? There was a lot. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah. There was a lot going on that one, and they made it entertaining. I'll give them that.
Yeah, and the ending was perfect. All right. I just wanted to give a special thank you to Boom Boom because Boom Boom had to put up with my bird, has to put up with my racist neighbors, has to do this podcast at home. So everyone in the comments say you love Boom Boom. Boom Boom. This has nothing to do with AEW. So, well, do you want to say one more thing about AEW before we jump off full stupid?
No. I think it was a good show, and I'm looking forward to next week, and good to see they're building up to the pay-per-view now.
Boom Boom. On my channel, twitch.tv, KocoSports. You know how you're the coach of the London Monarchs?
Yes.
You retired after 10 seasons and went in the Hall of Fame. Now we
Nice.
have James Legend running the general manager and Sammy Sinister coaching. And they're trying to replace you. But yeah, your little guy that we made, that's the coach, went in the Hall of Fame. So when you write your next resume, could you please put former coach of the London Monarchs, Madden
okay.
NFL Hall of Famer? You won 7 Super Bowls in 10 years. So, way to go. Give yourself a Barry Horowitz, sir. What are you going to do as you're retired?
I'm going to Disney World.
Nice. But you're still a zombie in Fire Pro Wrestling. So, there you go. All right, Booms. You got work to do. I got a bird to figure out why he's squat. Dude, this motherfucker's calm as shit now. Look at him. Well, you don't see a camera, but he's just chilling. He's like, yeah. Dude, during that main event, bro, not only was there a lot going on during that match, there was a lot going on. I had to mute. I was like wrestling Larry. Larry's like, I want to go here. I want to go here. I'm like, what do you want, Larry? And then we figured out what he wants, and now he's chill. But he was squawking up a storm. You okay now, Larry? All right, so Booms, thank you as always. Guys, check out davekoco.com, and it'll have my books. It'll have my cartoons. It'll have... And we have a merch store now. Well, maybe we'll put that link down in a doobly-doo. All right, Booms. Booms, I love you, brother. Sorry to bother you at work. And I think that's it. Do you want to wrap it up, buddy?
Yeah, be sure to check out davekoco.com.
Yep, davekoco.com. It's .com. If you know what that reference is, if you know what that reference is from, A, you're old, and B, you're awesome. Do you remember that, or are you just fucking?
I'm drawing a blank right now.
Homestar Runner. Welcome to homestarrunner.net. It's .com.
Oh God, we're going way back on that one.
Yeah, I'm old. If you don't know what Homestar Runner is, please check him out. That has nothing to do with anything, but it's enjoyable as fuck. All right. I think this is where we can end it, Booms, unless you have something else to add.
No, and that's it.
All right. Love you guys. With that, I am over. Ba-na-na-na-na.